What is up, everybody? How we doing today, guys? Got One Drunk Man, Biohazard, Joey H. Crafted Cables. What's up, guys? It's probably Joe H, but you're Joey H. Crafted Cables now. You know, it's gonna be like that. That's all I'm gonna say. How we doing? That scared the living shit out of me. Saying what's up? Yeah. Hey, you know, I got your attention, right? That's like the whole. That's the whole thing. At least I think. Get people's attention. I had another tab open. There you go. I'm that ad that like stays. You didn't see the video in like the bottom right corner, and then it just starts playing when you go to a different tab. Miss Kitty Cat and Panda Suit, what is up? What is up? We got a cool build. So I've had this for a little bit. It's for a buddy of mine's mom. So, you know, gotta treat it with care. Crispy stream quality, thank you. Thank you. A lot of it has to do with, one, natural light. You can't, I mean, you can see on the Instagram post I just put that the window is like behind me, or behind my setup. So I don't have any lights on right now. This is all that natty light. Epsilon Keyboards, what's going on? Which I like because I have not great eyes, and I hate staring into stream lights. So I'm new here, and the keyboard thingies. Well, welcome to keyboards. They're cool. I like them. No, we got a TKC1800 today. I was actually surprised because it's plastic. I didn't even know that. Low key, I've had this board in my possession for like at least a month now, and shout out to the owner and their patience. But I left it in the box. I didn't even open it until the other day. So yeah, could have knocked me over with a sheet of paper. That's a saying, right? I don't know. So yeah, the board's really light, so it'll be easy to deal with. 1800 build, so it's gonna take a little extra solder, couple more stabs. So we'll get into it here in just a second. But thanks guys for showing up. Saturday stream. And Miss Kitty Cat, please do not be afraid to ask questions. That is what this community is here for. You can ask literally any question and you will not be judged in chat. If you judge the questions, receive the mute hammer. And if you continue to harass, receive the ban hammer. Because we are trying to do, and my amazing wife just grabbed me a pumpkin cream cold brew because I'm basic and I'm okay with that. I am totally okay with that. And an ice cube just went straight into the hole. That's fun. But no, we got a fun stream. And guys, just a little note. If you happen to have GMK Carbon and GMK Cafe laying around, take those orange caps from Carbon, throw them on GMK Cafe, boom! GMK Pumpkin Spice Latte. There's my little tidbit for the week. But yeah, welcome to Mechs on Deck. For you who are new here, this is actually a two-person operation, but Build Streams is just the solo of us. So I'm Chewy, my co-host and partner in crime and best friend and maybe lover. Who knows? You know, I'm just saying I'm not closing my life completely off to that, right? Is Osiris, and on Tuesdays and Wednesdays we do talk shows about the hobby. Tuesdays is just Osiris and myself, and Wednesdays we typically bring on a guest. So, I gotta show this off real quick. So we're gonna do something a little weird, all right? So this is what is called a puppuccino. I'm gonna take it to this. I am the one, yes, I can show off the polycarbonate Singa if you want. So, puppuccino. It's gonna shake everything, but just letting you know. But we're gonna go crazy with this right now. So hold on. Come on. Yes, my dog is currently... Oh, and he got whipped cream on the desk, but that's okay. just in time for the Howie cameo. He's literally on my desk. Like, free hands. He's
Don't want to eat all of it, there's so much.
What?
Don't want to eat all of it, there's a big cup.
This is a big cut, but I gotta show him off. He's a good boy. Alright, here. Nope, don't jump off the desk. Sorry if you couldn't hear me because the mic was far away, but hey, you know, it's also throwing the focusing off on my... There we go. I forgot. I think that might be throwing off. Hold on. Camera settings. Yay. There we go. Fart lady. Oh, sorry. I need to... There it is. So yes, I do have the polycarbonate Singa. It is behind me. If you would like me to show that off, remind me at the end of stream. Anyone get on the Saturn 60 today? I did not. But it's a cool looking board. How usable it is on a desk is yet to be determined, but it's a really cool idea. But I mean, I think it's dope. But anyway, I also just got I literally pinged Lang in our Discord like 3 times. I was like, you have to hear me about GMK Carbon going on cafe for pumpkin spice latte. So, anyway, yeah, let's get started. I'm going to show off the board. So this board, super shiny, little plastic, TKC1800. It's got feet. Old school, I like that. So this is what it says on the back. I'm not going to read everything, but made in Germany. That's pretty cool. This is by The Key Company. This is The Key Company 1800. This device compiles the following TKC initiatives. Pay respect to the history of mechanical keyboards. Modify the historical keyboard in a good taste while exuding class with a touch of modern aesthetic. This is a pretty cool case. It's completely plastic. So I don't know how it'll sound. We got T1s going to this, but yeah, this thing literally weighs like maybe 1/4 pound. And it's got the way to open it. So there are these little tabs right here, and you hold up on it's actually a little tricky, but you like kind of hold up. They're like little clamps. And there. And the whole thing, it's bendable. I'm not going to bend it too much, but it's a cool little board by The Key Company. So, well done to you guys on making this. I believe Blind Assassin had a lot of input on this as well. So just a really cool, I mean, for the fact that this is a pretty inexpensive board and you get the full 1800 layout, if that's something that's your jam, your cup of tea, you know, I'm curious to know if they'll ever bring this back. So I'm going to put it off to the side because today, dropping stuff, putting it on this chunk of a PCB with the strangest USB layout. It's sideways, so the cable actually, you plug it in and then it like, the internal, it stays inside and then the end of the cable actually feeds out. So, if you guys don't know, it's the TKC1800, if that wasn't painfully obvious. But it's a PCB, I don't care. I like when there's art on it. It's pretty cool. I like, the thing that I like the most though is it's got, the PCB has the markings on both sides telling you which switch it is, which I really like. And then carbon fiber plate, pretty standard carbon fiber plate. Sure it'll sound all right, and you know, with a plastic case we'll see. So pretty standard carbon fiber plate. It's got some relief cuts in here. So We have got some stabs to lube. We've got old school today, which I like. GMK stabs. So these are a little bit old, as I know that the parts for this have been in the works for a while. So I love a case with a handle. Yeah, that'll be... Hopefully we get to build one. That'd be cool. So, and then we were talking, Cyrus and I were talking about what would be nice is if they made like a top, like a cover that would like latch onto the bottom so that you can just pick it up. Because the issue right now is you can pick it up, but it doesn't protect the switches and the caps. Cherry board, cherry stab, hell yeah, dude. So, I believe these are old enough to be free from issues. I don't remember. I need to look up the layout if he's doing 7U or 6U, 6.25U. This looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.25. So we don't need this right now. Well, ever for the build. So let's see. 1, 2, shift, enter, backspace, 2 U's on the numpad and our 6.25. Does this doesn't look like 6.25, but I guess it is. We'll find out. I guess it just has to fit, right? And look, it fits. Boom. It's almost like the guy that sent me this planned for it to be that way. So, stabs, going to be lube 205 grade 0, as is tradition. So I'm going to pop these apart and get this build going. I haven't done good old-fashioned cherry stabs in a hot minute. How is everybody doing today, though? What is on the list of things to do today? You guys are here watching me, which I appreciate. If you are just listening to me and waiting for me to finish the board, I will try and be auditorily entertaining. That's a statement, right? But what are you guys up to? Was at work. Ooh, I'm sorry. Oh, man, we got to clip these. All right. Double old school. I haven't clipped stabs in a while. But I get to show what clipping stabs means. So... a lot of the newer stabs, you don't have to do this. Headed to the hot sauce store at Restock today. Hell yeah. Send pics. You know I love me some hot sauce. Chilly chill time this weekend after a hectic work week. I feel you. Playing a lot of Overwatch. There you go. Gamers rise up. So I'm going to try. Let's zoom in some. So there are these little legs here, and they're raised. Come on, there we go. So you see these, there's 2 legs, and then that are flat, and then 2 legs that are raised. So what you want to do is you take your not pliers, whatever these are called. Tommy Hong, how's it going? And we're just going to try and keep it flush. So what you want to do, come on. If you see any stuff kind of poking out, just kind of go over it. Whoop, other way. You just kind of have to go over it. Make sure it sits flat. So what this does is this prevents these little pieces from touching the PCB, and it will be quieter. Less contact with anything. Queen Majesty sauce? Hell yeah, I haven't had that in forever. So recently I've found out that I guess treating my system with extremely hot sauces ruined it after a while. So I had to back down from hot sauce all the time, so I have lowered my intake of hot sauce. I still eat it from time to time, but I try to be more sparing about it. I try not to go back-to-back days with anything super spicy. just to let the system work through. And but the secret aardvark habanero sauce has been what I've been on, just because the price to performance on that's been really, really good. Been really enjoying it. And then the other thing too is, you know, Queen Majesty, for whatever reason, the last time I went for it, it was sold out. And I was like, that's actually surprising. But I guess we might start seeing, you know, this is where you're going to start running into things running out of stock, because things were made a long time ago to last through the pandemic. But then when you have to shut factories down, it's like, okay, now we are running lower on stock because what we made is still being used, but we had to take a hit. So, but hopefully can snag some soon. Almost done clipping these, and then on to lubing them. We're lubing with 205 grade 0. I do think I'm going to eventually switch to 206 grade 2. I think that's what it was. It was just a little, like I used it on the M0110 build. One, it's easy to obtain because you can get it on Amazon. And two, it worked really, really well. I'll probably keep 205 around just because it might not be the best with like super light springs. But if you're someone like me who only builds for personal use, only really builds above, like you could still get away with it on like 60, probably 67 and up. So get these sorted, and yeah, because I am not gonna last much longer with this little lube. It's a good thing I am not lubing linears anytime soon. But how was everyone's week? You know, was it a good week? Was it a bad week? If it was a bad week, I'm sorry. Tell us about it. Or don't. Come here to get a distraction. I'll be honest, this week was a bit rough. Just work has been crazy and mentally draining. Not, you know, it's not horrible, but you know, dealing with having to teach online. Drifting Bunnies, how's it going? I haven't seen Drifty Bunnies here in a few minutes. And a few hot minutes. Designer of GMK Sloth and the Austin, round 1 and round 2. Plus the, I forgot what 65 you did, but Drifting Bunnies. Remind me of the name of your 65% board. Because I forgot. And I apologize. I apologies. Stressful yesterday alone. I worked for 13 hours. Ooh, I'm sorry. Man. That's not fun. The Forever 65, that's right. I'm bad with board names now. There's a lot. Is Hot Minute a Texas thing? I don't know. I think my wife started saying it. I'm going to look over. Yep. My wife says it a lot, and so it's just one of those, when you're around someone that says something so much, you just start saying it too. Like, I didn't really start saying yeet until Osiris said yeet like 1,000 times one night. It was you?
No, Osiris made me start saying
Oh, yeah. Osiris, yeah, that's right. Osiris said it a bunch, and then my wife, Abracadaniel, said it a bunch. It was kind of like you unironically say something playing a video game, and then you just wind up saying it, and it's just like, all right, well, fuck it, yeet. Yeah, dude, Choman's so Canadian, it's ridiculous. So, but we are lubing right now. I'm lubing the internal aspect, or the internal part of the stabilizer. I am just doing a generous but not super heavy coating on either side. So I do it when you kind of see this thing. I do it on the flat side. You've got the little holes. You just cover the flat side. Like a 3/4 yeet, absolutely. Absolutely. We might be doing a Jackbox stream soon with Jackbox 7. I know we've got a couple boards that are... Things are starting to move our way, boards-wise. We had to take a small little break to kind of get some boards. We don't really publicly talk about or publicly advertise for builds, so that can obviously slow us down in getting builds, since we don't go, because it can be confusing with 2 people shipping to 2 different locations, and just trying to make sure everyone's happy with it. And then, you know, the one thing is, since we do 1 build a week, we can't promise a quick turnaround time, because if we post it and then 4 people hit us up going, yes, send the build, or I'm sending you the build now, I want it back in 2 weeks, we might not be able to promise that, because that might be the 3rd person, and then that's 3 weeks, or the 4th person, or the 5th person. And we like to kind of sit on builds to make sure we have 1 every week. And so we just kind of, the well ran dry for a little bit, but that's fine. We like gaming. From Cali or the Northeast, hot minute. Yeah, I don't know when exactly it started, but I know my wife said it. So now we are just lubing the insides of the kind of the outer part. The outer section of the stabilizer, we are lubing the inside of it. We're basically going to lube anywhere that plastic touches. You can lube the top and bottom. It's not really worth it because it doesn't really do a whole lot, but the sides is where you're going to get a lot more of the sliding. So let's get this on. And who's got some exciting stuff coming in? I've got... What stinks is there's a few things that I want to talk about that I just can't yet, that I'm super excited for. But hopefully Godspeed eventually shows up in like 2 months. I feel like I've been waiting for a hot minute. Biohazard. A biohazardic minute for Godspeed. And Ursa, probably in the next few weeks as well. So just hoping to hear from that. Cyberboard incoming soon. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. All the LED. That's the one with like the shit tons of LEDs on the top back, right? EO87 on Tuesday. Hell yeah. I love the one Lang just built. Whoop. Let me look something up real quick. So real quick, actually I just need to respond to this message really quickly. Boy howdy, BB Blue, thank you for the follow. I also missed Miss Kitty Cat and It's Crunchy Time. Thank you for the follow. And Keeb Noob, I'm sorry. I think I know what threw me off. I think Howie was on the table during a lot of this. So let's. I missed these. Well, Slightly Vapid Johnny followed 20 hours ago, so thank you, Slightly Vapid Johnny. Joey H. Craft Cables, thank you for the 2 months for the tier 1 sub. KLY back or Clyback, thank you for the 2 months sub. And Keep Noob 100 bits. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Like, honestly, it helps. It really helps the channel keep going. So, but yes, I wanted to do a quick shout out to our awesome and amazing sponsors, SwitchMod.net, Canon Keys, Dixie Mech, and Project Keyboards, as well as our awesome partners, our amazing partners, Zap Cables, Type Beast, and Smith and Rune. We will let you know more from them soon. I will let you know more about what they have to offer this month. Honestly, the song's kind of a jam. I'm digging it. This is like a 5-hour playlist, and I listen to it like twice a month, so a lot of the songs are just new to me. I'm gonna build my computer next week, provided my computer provided my coworker brings my cooler tomorrow. Lol. Hell yeah, dude. I'm excited for you. Excited for you to ascend to be a gamer. Black Jericho 456. That name means a lot to me, and I think that's awesome. Because a D&D character of mine that I have, who's been literally brought back to the dead, from the dead, is named Jericho. No more touch screens. There you go. Touchscreens are fine sometimes. Bagels 564. Thank you for the follow. Retouching this one because just didn't do enough. But yeah, it is funny that you know, Osiris and I talked a lot in depth about the Saturn 60, or the Saturn 60, because we often like to relate things to 2018 when we kind of first really got into the hobby, and we were talking about how like a board like that probably wouldn't be able to exist back then, but now we are able to do all these like novelty things, which is fucking awesome. Like, so honestly, Loeb, the vibes here. I lobe you too. So, but yeah, it's like that board like would not be able to exist 2 years ago, or if it did, it would be like, you know, 5-6 people like it. But it went to a full group buy today, which is like props to the community. I got an ice cube. So, almost done with the stabs, and then we'll get these wires put in, and then off to the races. And last one. What are you guys watching right now? What's the show to binge right now? I'm in the middle of 30 Rock. I've seen it before, but it's probably been one of the longest stretches outside of Futurama. It's been like the longest stretch of shows that I used to binge all the time, but I just haven't watched in a long time. Which I don't know why, because I really I always enjoyed it. I just haven't watched it in a hot minute. What is the show to binge right now? I'm watching Pen 15, just finished watching Utopia. That was really good. I watched Utopia as well. I really like that. Rainn Wilson and John Cusack acted the hell out of that show. I think it's a solid show without them, but it's a great show with them. And I'm just sad that The Boys is gone. You're watching Chuck. I don't even know if I ever watched Chuck. But maybe I'll have to give it a shot. And I have no idea what Pen 15 is. Is that the one where, like, adults go to middle school and everyone just thinks that everyone just, like, pretends they're not adults? Taryn from Apple TV is always The Office because I need it in my life. Yep. The Office or Parks and Rec is something I watch at least. I think I watch both of them, if not twice a year, once a year. Most likely twice a year, maybe even 3 times a year. It's set in early 2000s. You think it would be weird seeing these grown women around all these middle schoolers, but it somehow works. Well, that's like how people want, which I would totally pay money to see this. People want the next Home Alone movie to be like only a couple years after the Home Alone 2, but everyone still thinks that he's like that Kevin Malone? I think that's his name. Maybe. My coworker would be murdering me right now, but Macaulay Culkin would play a 12-year-old, but he's like 40, and everyone just ignores the whole fact that he's 40, which I would pay money for. Kevin Malone's from The Office. Okay. What's his name in Home Alone? Oh. Kevin McAllister. That sounds right. I don't know. It's KM. Is that Polaris on your desk? No, this is my Baca 60. This is the Baca 60. This is a board that I designed with Blind Assassin. It's got quite the dirty back, but I'm okay with that. But whoop, and I just dropped it on my desk. You hear me? I'm not. Isn't that right before he gets hit in the face with a paint bucket? If I am remembering that correctly. Stress testing the desk. Absolutely. Boom. Look at that wobble. It stressed out the camera arm more than it did the desk. I love it. So we are lubing the wire anywhere the plastic touches, typically this corner. Looks so good, thank you. So I did a rerun. Totally ripped off the guy that designed the Baca by making the Squid 60. Squid 60 is a group buy that I ran relatively recently to honor my dog, Squid, who passed away relatively recently. And those boards should be coming in soon, TM, and extras will go up. So if you want a board like this that's not this color, because this is a custom Cerakote color, although I can find out what color. Blue. Be careful, Baca dude gonna come after you. Exactly. But that just reminds me of, I think, is it Liar Liar? He's like, I'm kicking my ass. Stay in our Discord, and I will be announcing when those extras go up. So if you want this board with minor revisions that also says Squid 60 on the back instead of Baca 60, keep updated. Epsilon Keyboards, how's it going, man? Yeah, dude, that Baca he's fucking scary. Just threatens everyone with lawsuits. Boy, howdy, Plank the Real. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Can't wait to put GMK Nautilus Nightmares on my Squid 60. Hell yeah. Did you like Nautilus Nightmares? I don't... Honestly, I I don't really care that the colors are super different. I mean, I understand that a lot of people do, and I'm not trying to like take away from that. Like that sucks because they obviously do look a little bit different. So hopefully they were either able to find something they liked about it, or at least get their money back on a trade or on selling. So I don't know what to put on my Eva canoe. What colors? What colors is the Eva canoe? That's the main question. Nightmare best not. I do like it. See, Nautilus is a... So I had Nautilus for a long time, the way back when. And I never found a board that I really liked it on, so I wound up selling it. There's always someone that will like it, exactly. But I did the photo test, and your phone camera cannot capture the color accurately. That's bad. Having fun lubing them stabs. You fucking know it, Blind Assassin. Guys, we were just talking about the Baka 60 and the Squid 60. Blind Assassin is the co-designer of the Baka 60 and the Squid 60. I am almost done lubing these stabs, Mr. BA. It's purple with green accents. Chewy, is there a name for H1 bot and stem cherry top? I have no idea. If there is, I didn't make it up. H1 bottom and stem. I mean, I think you just call that an H1 with a cherry top. Or just do something dumb like H1 cherry top JWKs are pretty common mod. Yeah, because it's hard to be like, yeah, the top's a alpaca and the bottom's a mauve. It's like, cool, like those are the same. And I'm not trying to, this isn't like a slamming anybody. It's with all the JWKs, it's hard to be like, oh, it's this because of this name. It's like that naming scheme is typically just referring to what color the switch is, not what actual changes are about the switch, unless you're talking about the spring weight. But then because spring weights kind of don't mean anything and it's so hard to keep track of, and you can change them so easily, it kind of just doesn't matter, in my opinion. So, man, I finally hunted down an unused set of Hamon this week. Been searching for one from I joined the hobby, waiting for a board to come in. I'll put it on. Hell yeah. H1's a bit different though. I've never used them, so I can't give my full opinion on it. I'm trying to think of I mean, black on white would look, or sorry, white on black would look really good. Bagels 564, just because it's plain. Minimal would also look really good. I don't know. Post a picture or just like message me a picture in Discord, Mr. Bagel 564, if you have one, and we can try and solve this together. Because you can do that, or you can just go like full send and do just something completely random and have just like this strange, weird thing. So, that's why I try not to get too many cases, though. Like, and please don't take this as me hating on the EVA case. I think that's dope, and I don't want my preferences does not mean that I look down on others for their preferences, because this is preferences. I don't. Do you have any Windows key mapped on your Baka? It is right here on the super key because my function key is my caps lock. But I try and go for more neutral boards. Gray, black, white. The Baka and blue just kind of worked out because Mizu looked fan-fabulous on it, and I wanted something different. But typically I like boards that are pretty neutral colored to let the cap shine through. because then I can either go with let the cap shine or have a very like low key keyboard. Would you get PON to put on it? What is PON? Are you talking about Pono? Pink on navy. Oh, on this? Probably not. I'm not a big fan of pink. Like, honestly. And that's not, I mean, it's just a preference. I like the color salmon, but anything that's like really pink, I'm like, eh. And really, I like the color salmon to wear. I don't have a lot of things that are salmon. I say that with my mouse being freaking pink, but it looks way more pink in the camera, but it looks a lot more salmon in person. Miss Kitty Cat, I assume you're saying I don't like pink and you're angry about it, and I'm okay with that. I respect that. Feed me the hate. I love it. I just don't own. I think the most pink thing I have is my scene switcher from Bento. I don't hate anyone. You don't have to hate me, but bring on the hate. What will give me more Thok than Zeal V2? Thok? I mean, Holy Pandas. Or you can make Zykos and hate your life, but... more pink for me. There you go. Exactly. Bright sides. I like to think that Lang likes pink enough for both of us. So, Glorious or Holy? Either. I've heard great things. I need to get some Glorious. Because apparently they are the deal real. Home Sweet Home Desk Man is smart because when it gets stains, it looks more authentic. Thank you. You get it. You get it. You get it. DDD Klein. Guys, if you haven't checked out his stream before, his stream's pretty lit. He's one of my favorite keyboard streamers to listen to. And just talk about things with. He's a fun guy. So, IBMer, thank you for the follow. But you click his little name in chat, and you go to his channel, and you hit the little follow button, and then you start watching him. And then you slowly realize that he's so much better than me in every single way possible, except for hair, that you're like, okay, he's better to look at. So I'll watch an old YouTube video of Chewy, and I'll mute that, and then I'll put DDD Klein's stream in the background, and just pretend that Chewy is talking, but it's DDD Klein, actually. I just solved it. There it is. Perfect entertainment. All right, so we got our stabs done. We're going to test them after I get them screwed into the PCB. Be right back buying extensions. Boom. Now I'm really in trouble. Let's see. I don't think I've ever really showed this off or talked about it. We haven't talked about like what we use, but I have a Nanch set. This thing is fantastic. If you are looking for something that, like, I've yet to run into something that I need that doesn't come in here, except for like really big, you know, like Allen wrenches or something, or a bigger screwdriver. But for keyboards, this has always been good coverage. Makes me sad that so many boards are Alps compatible, but no one ever builds it with Alps. Alps are hard to get, like good Alps, right? Like, so a lot of people will have like different kind of Alps or kind of crappier Alps or knockoffs, Space Invaders. But honestly, if I'm ever going to go for an Alps build, I'm going for Alps Browns, but I already have a Zyko board and I just don't care enough to go try and find Alps Browns. So originally was going to have Alps, but I gave up after 2 years. That is why I don't try for Alps, because I don't want to do the work. I don't want to do the work. I don't want to do the effort. I don't want to learn how to make an Alps board. It's not something that I'm like, hell yeah, I need this in my life. I really need to try browns. Like, how much better are they than oranges and salmons? Well, they're pretty fantastic. So fantastic that it's almost impossible to recreate them. Orange and salmon are very different than the amazing browns. There you go. There's your answer. I've tried them all. I mean, honestly, brown Alps are a solid feel. But end of the day, they're also expensive and hard to make. So hit them with that. It be like that sometimes. I mean, brown Alps are like the most tactile, like thocky anything that exists. So we are screwing in the stabs now. I tested the plate before today just because I try and do that always, and thank God the switches just slide right in. So I imagine that this build will be a pretty quick one once we get to the soldering. But I knew that the stabilizers were going to take a minute because there's a lot of literally twice as many stabilizers as I typically do in most builds. I have 29 browns for sale. Cough. Noted. Blind, just hit me up. I want like 3. Just give me like 2 or 3. That's all I want. I just want for like a switch tester. So hit me up. Well, there goes that screw. I'll pick it up. Because like I said, I've tried them before, but I don't. It is a lot of work, and that's a whole nother aspect of the hobby of trying to find like vintage boards. If I wasn't in New Zealand and shipping would be stupid, I would be interested. Well, Epsilon Keyboard, one, I saw, not to get too political, but I saw that your prime minister got reelected in a landslide, which doesn't surprise me because New Zealand did a fantastic job with the coronavirus. I saw you guys had like a concert, which it's like, holy shit, like that's awesome that you guys are able to like literally live a normal life while the rest of the world is on fire. It's not the rest of the world, but I know, I can't imagine there are too many unhappy people about that, so congrats, man. To get these finished, we'll get them tested. Get these stabs tested. All these meetups, I'm so jealous. Like, let me into New Zealand. New Zealand's like, nah, bro, get out. Because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the only reason there was a second issue of it is because someone brought it, like, via an airplane? I think that's what I remember hearing. Let's get these final two. I do like the, you know, TX made an 1800 named, you guessed it, the TX1800. And I always kind of wanted one, but they never really updated it. And like the 1800 layout is obviously a layout that is not the most sought after because it's kind of awkward. It's very like heavy on one side of all these switches and just kind of a strange layout in general. But I always wanted one. I always thought those were really cool boards, and they're heavy. They're so heavy. We have 30 cases in isolation, 0 in the community. See, that's amazing. It's because you let Kiwis back. I am just asking because I need informative reasons. Is that is the term kiwis like socially acceptable and politically correct? If it is not, I want my deepest apologies for saying it, but it is. I'm trying to learn. Kiwis, someone from New Zealand. Okay, just making sure. You can't be too careful nowadays. All right, we got our stabs. Let's get some switches over here. Kiwi fruit is the fruit. What do you guys call kiwi? I mean, I like kiwis. I'm not like in love with kiwis, but they're solid fruit. Okay, this is tripping. I guess this is upside down, but you can also mount it sideways. That's weird. Points off because it makes my brain hurt. Why is this so strange? Have you tried the golden kiwis? I don't know. I guess not. Okay, I am confused because these switches are not just going in. Hold on. LED to the right. Well noted. Thank you, Mr. BA. It looks like you can mount them like upside down, but you cannot. All right, let's get some anchor switches to make sure the feeling is not completely thrown off. And then we have a couple extra switches here. I believe this is for the F-row because these are, I forgot what, I think these are Zeal tops. Maybe? I mean, I can just look. They are not Zeal tops because they don't have Gatoron on it. But I forgot, they are basically T1s. But there's not enough, so the F-row is a different switch. But we're just kind of putting them around the keyboard to get them. I'm just going to go ahead and throw these in just so I don't lose track. Slap the bass. Pseudo smile. Going to sleep. Wishing you a good stream, man. Hey, pseudo smile. Rest easy. Get some rest, bud. You deserved it. Thanks for tuning in. As I get these bad boys in, I need to start warming up the iron, but I also need to test my stabs. Ooh, I don't have my enter. All right. Whoops. Or my, that's good. No, that's too big. Plus, I have this cap, so why would I not just use that? Come on, Dave. Works. Colors are so good. Which caps did you end up getting for the Keyforge blind bag? I got an Ocean Gummy Molder and a Orochi Lord of Alchemy. I cannot answer that question. So, there. And then I need, hold on. Test out an enter key or a space bar because my well, uh-oh, because that's not working. Let's try a different switch just to make sure. There we go. Sometimes it just, you know, lube is not 100% settled in the right spot. So you just have to try. You just have to try a different switch. Don't panic. Don't take the whole thing. Always try a different switch first, because sometimes it might just be the lube needs, you put that in like an alpha key where it'll definitely, it doesn't have to worry about taking on the monster of a space bar. I'm just going to throw these last couple in, but I doubt I will solder every single one of these before I pop the rest of the switches in. But it is about soldering time. Where's my boy Delafin? This board looks gigantic against the 40 that I'm currently using. I mean, this board is pretty big, I'll be honest. Compared to just, this is a 60%, this is full size, so. It's a little bit bigger, just a smidge. Just not wanting to unravel. All right, so I solder at 660 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a little toasty, but it works. Gets the job done. Gets the job done quickly. This one needs to be put in. You can go down to like 615, 600. It'll just take a little bit longer for the solder to warm up, but all in all, I've never had any issues with it. If you're careful, just like, okay, just be careful. And thank you to my lovely wife for getting me this coffee, because we went to bed really late, and then I had to take my dog Howie, who you saw earlier, which I hope someone clipped that, but we took Howie in for a nail trim and to pick up some of his medication, as he is prone to seizures. So we I had to wake up at like 8 o'clock this morning, but we didn't stop playing video games last night until like at least 1:30, and then my wife and I stayed up just hanging out, watching 30 Rock, and talking about video games and talking about how Party Animals needs to come back until like 2:30. So should be good time. So the solder is up and ready to go. Get this flipped, get a couple of these switches, at least the stabilizers and some of the top row soldered on, and then we are good to go for the rest of the switches. it's aged. Some of the jokes, I'm like, whew, you cannot make that joke anymore. Jack Donaghy is a horrible human being. Like, pretty terrible. It's definitely not as PC as it could be. But I always forget that, you know, in The Office didn't win a whole lot of awards, and I forget that it's because 30 Rock won at all of these awards. 30 Rock was always beating The Office in like every category because to me it was a little more safe. It wasn't awkward humor, it was like ridiculous humor. And at the time that's what was funnier. So different time. That's why I think The Office aged much better than 30 Rock. Still a great show, though. That's not to say. You just have to get over the fact that Jack Donaghy's a huge asshole, and they're all very, like, the reason I think this is why I like Parks and Rec the most, because when Leslie's an asshole to people, when Leslie's being, like, self-centered, usually it's because she's so driven on something, she just kind of forgets that other people exist because she's like, I just want this, and it's kind of selfish, but for the most part, she has best intentions in mind. Michael Scott's just an idiot. His redeemable quality is that he is ignorant, and that he's being an asshole, but he's not realizing he's being an asshole because he just doesn't realize it. Not because he's got blinders on, he thinks that this is what's the best. It's just that he legitimately doesn't think he's doing anything wrong because he's ignorant to what's happening, and he craves attention. Where I feel like Liz Lemon is kind of just more selfish. And when she does, like when anybody on that show does something stupid, I'm like, it's not like you were trying to do something good and then you didn't. It was like a lot of that show is kind of people realizing they're being more of an asshole than they think they are, and I'm like, don't remind me that I'm an asshole. He is, yeah, I would agree. Sometimes Michael is a selfish ass, but and so, I mean, absolutely, sometimes Leslie's a selfish ass, but for the most part, I think that the leads in The Office and Parks and Rec are better than the leads in 30 Rock. There are at least more redeeming qualities to The Office and Parks and Rec. I'm gonna get some solder up here. The Office can be so hard to watch, Law. I just don't cringe the same way. I don't think Parks and Rec is as cringy. I think Parks and Rec is a feel-good story. It's just a feel-good TV show. Like, it is... It has some of those awkward moments, but they're not as awkward. And I think the characters... They're a little less believable as humans. I think, like, The Office found it did it perfectly, right? They're like, I believe that these characters exist in the real world outside of Michael. Because the only thing that takes you out of The Office is that Michael would have been fired at least every other episode. Parks and Rec, it's like these characters are slightly less believable as people, but overall, I am more attached to these characters because of the like differences in like, yeah, I understand that some idiot who falls in pits and is homeless would go from shoe shine to being extremely successful, but you know, he's kind of got that like caring and just like, it's just these, I think the characters in The Office or in Parks and Rec are just a little bit better as being TV show characters, where The Office is better at being like, these are real people. So, and I think a lot of that has to do with, while Parks and Rec still has the same, like, we interview the people, it's not like we are shooting a documentary. So Kinnick, what's up? Zoomwald, I agree. The Office is quite accurate for satire. Just gonna get a few more anchor switches in here, or solder a few before I get the old giant bag of switches going. Guess what I'm doing at Raz? Who knows? Epsy, you're so delicious. All right. I can get behind that energy. Whoop, I just spilled switches everywhere. Still dropping them. I need a camera that like I can pull off and like show you. Like I love like what people are doing, the whole Huey first person cam. I think that's cool. I need like a camera that I can just like grab this and be like, all right, you're coming with me. But there's too many cables. I guess I could connect like a Logitech and just have that like over here. Because we did with the 24-hour stream, we had a Logitech cam sitting in the top corner. So that when we went to the Be Right Back screen, you kind of saw us and saw like the whole room and what we were doing. And I thought that was really cool. And I think it would be cool to do that in here. But it's like you can't have that and then have it easily accessible to be like, look what I'm looking at or something like that. So unless we just got 2 Logitechs. But those things are like worth their weight in gold right now. I felt really bad because we had a couple people... I've had a few people approach me, especially in like April and May, that were like, hey, I'm trying to get into streaming. Like, what things should I buy? And I'm like, you can't, sorry. Because everyone decided to start streaming, and on top of that, there's like a 90% crossover between streaming and work from home. So everything just went out of stock. And then people were like, I'm going to buy these C920s and flip them for 4 times the price. Because I am a horrible person. I may be putting these in the wrong spots, but I don't think so. No, I'm not. Yeah, these are all stacked. It's throwing off my groove. Getting a webcam was a hustle. I feel that. It was nice flexing on people, though. And you get a nice stream setup, and they're like, oh, shit. It's like you have the microphone and the why is your camera so clear? I'm like, because I didn't really want you to find out about my outside hobbies, but here they are. Resellers on eBay, yeah, I imagine that was a doozy. What I wish, Osiris and I talk about this all the freaking time. The webcam community is such a strange, or the webcam stuff, it's not going to get better until a camera company takes it over, right? What color is the 1800 case? It's like navy, a hint of purple in there. It's like a dark navy purple, tanzanite blue. Yeah, my wife and I have Ring Fit and love it. And yeah, we absolutely could not find it. We didn't get it until like August. I hadn't even heard about it, and my wife was like, yeah, we should try this. Like, a lot of people are really liking it. And I literally hadn't even heard of it. And when I got it, I was like, oh, you know, I was a little skeptical. I was like, you know, it's working out as a video game. How fun can it be? And then I was like, oh shit, I can like min-max my character. It's like, hell yeah, let's do this. Sign me up. 7 a.m. at Target. Damn. What are some things you would do different for your next 24-hour stream? I don't know. Honestly, if it was up to me, I don't think 24-hour streams are really needed. I think you can accomplish the same goals in like a 10-hour stream or a 12-hour stream, or do what DDD Klein and oh, why am I going blank? Kimchi Jody Boy. What they did is like pass off a 12-hour stream to someone else doing a 12-hour stream, because like, well, 24 hours, like we've done it, right? We did it the first time, we did the full 24 hours. The second time it was cut short to 22 hours. So it's not like we can't do it, right? It's like we've already proven, and it was Kimchi. Dropped the switch because I always drop shit. So to me, 24-hour streams, it's more of like, I'd rather just make it an event of some sort, because honestly, 24-hour streams, they're hard to do. Osiris has to freaking bring everything he owns over. So it's a lot. Like, he usually comes over the night before to set up, and then like the worst part of 24-hour streams is you have to tear everything down. Like, you can't, Osiris isn't just going to go home. He's not just going to go home without his computer, because it's like, hey, I'm going to go home, and then we're trying to fix our sleep schedules and all that, and it just becomes difficult. Need to make sure I get these lined up really quick. And there is not really in alignment, but that's fine. I think it hugs the left if it's the 3. So yeah, it was just one of those things that we've talked about it. We've talked about doing one, you know, where we're kind of separate together, but I feel like these 8-hour to 12-hour ones are so much better because you can accomplish the same things. 24-hour streams are great for giveaways. They're great for fan engagement and community engagement. It's really awesome, but it's taxing. And honestly, you typically, I've seen a lot of people, anytime we've done like goals or stuff, we reach it in the first 6 hours. So it just becomes more and more like, why do I need to do the full 24 hours when I can do, why do I need to do the full 24 hours when I can do like 8? And maybe less than the goals some, but people are going to enjoy it just as much. And yeah, you know, the big part about it that's nice is that you can reach the other side of the globe. But if you do a 12-hour stream, you're going to be able to do that. So I think 12-hour streams are the sweet spot. 8-hour stream is a normal Kimchi stream. See, I can't do that, man. I can't do like 8-hour streams. That's insane. All right, so this one has to go like that. All right, so switches are in. Time to solder. Had just enough switches, so good counting. A less way, yeah, and like with the 12-hour streams, you know, it's a long thing. It's a long process. You can still do a lot, but like with giving that it's 2 different people and you're having 2 different setups, it's just a little bit more difficult, and it's a little bit, you have to think a lot more in planning. You know, it's funny, we talk about it all the time. Osiris and I used to live together, and my wife and I had our room, and Osiris had his room, and we had a third room. And we were like, man, how easy would it have been if we had just done that then? Because we could do it whatever. We could do a freaking 24-hour stream once a month if we wanted to. But no, it's just a process, and I would love to do more fun stuff like that. But right now, with the way work is, it's just difficult to find time, and it's a lot of planning. We haven't wanted to put in the effort to plan it. That's not to say that we're getting lazy, but it is a lot of work to put together something as big, because when we do something that big, we want to do it as big as possible. And for the last one, the first one we did, we kind of learned a lot. The next one, we had a lot of time to plan because it was during the pandemic, so we had all this time in the world. Right now, it's like, well, we got to go. If anything we do, the next thing's got to be that much better. And we're like, well, that's going to take a lot of effort to plan this next best thing. So what do you do for work? I teach special education students at the elementary school level. That is what I do. Any thoughts on Obliterated 75? I'm thinking about getting in on it. I've typed on it, and I've gotten to mess around with it. I didn't build it. Osiris built it. He really liked it. I know the one we had some anodizing issues, and one of the legs, or not legs, but one of the blockers was missized, but it looks really great for the price. It's fantastic. Bro, I didn't know you were a teacher. I teach elementary as well. Hell yeah, dude. Rock on, brother. But you know, I would love to do this full time, but obviously, like, it can be. I'm not trying to sit here and go, oh man, woe is mechs on deck. But we have 2 people, so going full time requires us to make enough money for both of us to be comfortable and be making enough money that if we have a bad month or something, we're not just screwed. I don't see, unless something exploded or we got some sponsorship deal that literally was like, I'm going to pay you to do this full time, regardless of how much money you're bringing in from stream. We would at least do something to where if we were making a lot, we would probably at least have to have part-time jobs or something of that nature so that we can have insurance, right? Like, there was discussion earlier this year in like January, February, where I was going to be a substitute teacher. And once the pandemic hit, the substitute teachers didn't get paid. It was just, well, see ya. Which I get, because it's like, well, you can't sub for teachers that are not there. But it was like, oh, I can sub, you know, I can basically cut back to 3/4 days a week and put a lot more effort into mechs on deck and get some money from mechs on deck and get some money from substitute teaching and still have insurance and all that stuff. But after the pandemic, it was like, well, that idea is right out the door, because if there's another pandemic or if we're still shut down, I can't make money. Where in my current position, I get paid year round. So it was not feasible at the time to switch to something part-time. And on top of that, you know, if we decide to go part-time, if we decided to make Mechs on Deck much bigger thing, and we decided to go, okay, let's do like full-time or whatever, or at least part-time, Mechs on Deck, part-time other job, we wouldn't increase streams, except by, we might do, what we would probably do, we would probably add a 4th stream a week so that both of us would have a build each week. So we'd still do our normal talk show, we'd still do our normal interview stream, and then we would both have a build. So let's average it to 2.5 hours per stream. That's 7.5 hours a week. So yeah, like, we'd probably release more YouTube content, but even then, that's, you know, I work 40 hours a week, 40 to 40, like, it's like 40 to 41. But yeah, 40 hours a week. If I replace that with 7.5 hours a week, I would be bored. I mean, even if I doubled that 7.5 hours of creating content, that's still only like 15 to 20 hours a week, and I'd have the other 20 hours a week, and I'm not someone that would be like, great if it's like, yeah, I won the lottery, hell yeah. It's like, I would need to do something with my time. So I would want to do, and on top of that, it's kind of a lonely job. Like, I'm married and I love my wife, but it would be kind of a lonely job just sitting around being like, I'm editing videos all day, or I'm recording things. I'm a social person. I like to be able to talk to people, and I think that's something that I would really miss. So That's awesome, man. My wife works for a company that supports both special needs kids and adults, as well as provide housing for them. Takes a special person to work with those areas, as those kids, adults need the extra support and love. They really do, man. They really do. In New Zealand, we integrate special needs kids into public schools. Yeah, I mean that's what we do. We try and do it as best we can. We have them in certain, what they're learning and different learning environments are very important based on their needs. But it is important to get them integrated as much as possible socially, because a lot of these kids can be really, really smart, but socially is where it kind of starts messing with them, and there are certain things that they don't understand. Is not socially acceptable, or just maybe not even socially acceptable, but like, I mean, fifth graders, you're like, you're right in that, like, getting hit in the face with puberty, and so kids might be laughing at you, and it's hard to explain to them that, like, hey, they're not laughing at you because you did something mean. They're just being rude, and like it's hard to explain. Be like, you're going through a time where these kids are going to try and make fun of you because of their own insecurities. So yeah, and that's hard to explain to any kid, much less a kid that would have a really hard time understanding that. So the social aspect of it is incredibly important. And yeah. But need a quick sip of some agua. We need to do that, like, water, take a sip thing. Blow J, thank you for the 5 months tier 1 sub. Thank you. Shout outs to Blow J. What are you up to, man? Lubing, there you go. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but hopefully I can entertain you a little bit. What are you lubing? What switches? What's the build? What caps are going on it? What kind of solder are you using? What iron are you using? What switches? Is it a Franken switch? Is it a standard switch? Is it a vintage switch? All the questions. Sorry, I was getting distracted because there's food conversations happening in the Discord. What is everybody eating today? That's what I want to know. We made a crap ton of homemade. We always make cinnamon rolls like in advance. Thomas E 2112, nice. I had leftover Thai food for lunch. But my wife made these awesome pumpkin. They're like pumpkin spice cinnamon rolls. I think they're on her Instagram. Not yet. We'll get those posted soon. But pumpkin spice cinnamon rolls that are fantastic. If you guys want to check out my wife's awesome Instagram, hit !food. She's got like really delicious food on there. But yeah, and then I had the leftover Thai food for lunch. Going to have yum cha with my mom in an hour. What is yum cha? And tonkotsu ramen. There you go. Is it? I'm bad at pronouncing things. I have accepted it as an inevitable that I will never pronounce things correctly. Yum cha. I'm gonna have to look that up. Chinese lunch, when you have trolleys of food, roll it over to your table, and you get things like dumplings, flat noodles. You might know as dim sum. Okay, dim sum. Got it. Is there an actual difference between dim sum and yum cha, or is it just a locational difference? My high school dim sum means touching the heart. Noted. I didn't know that, so now I do. In high school, my high-functioning autistic brother had the most support from the staff in a school where behavioral problem kids got sent. Those kids really know how to push his buttons and make him look bad. But I guess it was a judgment call by my mom. Well, I mean, if you got out, that's the important part. Learning, growing, improving. Something we can all do. And that's something I try and teach a lot of my kids, is especially the higher functioning kids, is, you know, one thing that will completely ruin their day is when they make one mistake that can make them spiral. And it's like, listen, you know, trying to tell people, like, listen, you made a mistake. That's fine. It's like, I made so many mistakes when I was in 5th grade, but I'm here. I'm 28 and I'm not dead yet, but having to explain to them that, like, it's important to learn from the mistake than dread on it. And so a lot of those kids really have a hard time struggling with that concept of, like, the end of the world if they misspelled something. So touching the heart versus drink tea. Okay, yum cha is the place, dim sum's the food. Got it. But I think that can be told for a lot of kids in elementary school is, man, like, I know that the average age of viewership here is mid-20s, early to mid-20s, into the 30s and 40s. What I can tell you now, though, is, man, while the kids just have, I honestly, I think the kids have it way more harsh now because of technology and social norms and all of that. I just feel bad for the kids. They're like, got to be worried about who's on Snapchat at what time and who's got the funnier TikTok and who's got more followers on social media. And I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't have to worry about that. The worst thing I ever had to worry about was in middle school. You know, we had, like, knockdown, drag-out fights about who your top 8 was on MySpace. Shout out to the homies who know that problem. Yep. Bruh, I'm so old that even MySpace wasn't a thing. There you go. Were you on Zanga? Zanga? I remember rushing home to get on AOL Instant Messenger or AIM. Waiting for your friends, but good old Zanga, hell yeah. Waiting for your friends so you would just talk to, like, chatbots. Anybody else remember Smarter Child? I do. Alta Vista. There you go. And when you put someone in your top 8, they didn't have to put, oh yeah. If they didn't return the favor, ooh. It's over. Over and done with. So we are moving along with the soldering. I said, due to the size of this board, the solder is just... It's just taking a minute. PCB is nice, though. Cutouts are nice. It's got the ALP support, so it does take a little more solder than usual for that top left pin, or top right if you were looking at the switch, top left if you were looking at the bottom. But overall, PCB's nice. Mini USB, unfortunately. So, never on MySpace. Happy I didn't get on, dude. You missed a lot of pain and turmoil. So congratulations, you avoided that. You avoided the troubles of middle school drama that would... What was funny is you would do that and then, like, you wouldn't be able to talk to each other. There wouldn't be texts. There wouldn't be any of that stuff. But then you'd have, like, a shit storm waiting for you at school the next day. I am genuinely curious because, like, when I was in high school, the thing that was really annoying was there was not really, like, group texts. You had to talk to everybody separately. So it'd be like, let me talk to them. Okay, let me go. And then, like, group text started to become a thing, but, like, Discord in high school would have been amazing. Because then it's like, oh, I'll just talk to everybody. We can all come up with a plan together. It wasn't like, this person wants to do this, and this person wants to do this. And it's like, just fucking, why can't we all talk to each other at the same time? The older I get, the less I care about social media. Almost never check Facebook now. I deleted my Facebook a little, like, earlier, like a couple months ago. Aim on my sidekick was life. We were just talking about sidekicks the other day. Imagine people chatting with each other. Was you and your peers' daily fun? Yup. Because I've been watching Pen 15, it reminded me of the notebook my friend's mom brought over. It's letters from me and my friend back and forth from 2003. I actually read it yesterday, and it's hilarious. So cringe. Hell yeah. Dude, those were the days, man. And by those were the days, I mean, I feel so bad. So the elementary school that I work at does have a lot of, you know, I'm able, because I'm going into classrooms, I'm able to talk to a lot of the general education kids. And some of the fifth graders are like, I can't wait for middle school. It's like, is it such a blast like everyone talks about? And I'm like, I can't tell you yes. I'm like, it's going to be difficult. Your friend, you know, these BFFs that you're going from fifth grade in, like, it's like, all I can say is please, for the love of God, listen to your mom or dad, because if you're doing something stupid, the reason they're telling you don't do that is because they're probably right. And understand that, like, try not to take it personal when your friend finds another friend, because from the time you could barely talk to the time you were 11, the first 6 years of your life are with, like, 40 people. And then your entire world triples in 3 months. And it's hard explaining that to kids, that it's like, you have such a limited stock of people that you talk to. And you're literally tripling how big their world is. And sometimes, you know, I was trying to explain. I was like, listen, you're about to meet a lot of new people. Your world gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it rapidly gets smaller and smaller. And explaining that to a fifth grader can be tough, but I had one kid that, like, really understood it. Because I just told him, listen to your mom and play sports to stay fit. It's the best advice I can give to a fifth grader. So only got a little bit left on this build. Totally agree. I have like 5 real life friends. And that's how I... Yeah, it's easier to keep up with the small... Like, I have my high school friends. They were like, you know, groomsmen at my wedding. And if any of them really needed me, like, I will be there in a heartbeat. But just because, I feel like the thing that it's hard to teach people in general is, like, you don't and especially people that are 18, 19 years old, you don't have to talk every single day to be friends. You just have to be friendly and know that you can count on that person, right? So My friends from high school I won't speak to for months, even years, and then we'll talk, and it's like, oh, it's like old times, and that's not a bad thing. I don't care. I've got my close-knit group of friends, and right now my close-knit group of friends haven't even met them, some of them in person. But like in real life, I've only got a handful: Osiris and a couple people I work with, and people I met. You know, I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of people in the Discord that I know in person, but we can't fucking hang out right now. So, I mean, Lang and I are lovers, and we live on opposite sides of the country, so that's been difficult. I said I had one more. I have 2 more rows. Damn it, I knew Lang was cheating on me. Yep, sorry, bud. It'd be like that sometimes. No, I love Lang. If you guys don't follow Lang on Twitch, go follow him. He has an amazing stream with his brother, Other Lang. And he is just one of the most genuinely awesome people that I have ever met. He grew up about an hour from me. There you go. I believe that to be true because from what I've heard from Lang, everything was about an hour away from where he grew up, so makes sense. Yeah, Lang is my love language, and props and 5 points for DD Decline. Congrats. Just about done with soldering. Then we're going to test this PCB, this awkward. I will say I'm not a huge fan of... Overall, I am not a huge fan of this PCB strictly because of the USB. Not a huge fan. I guess it's like... It's going for the wired PCB feel, but you're not screwed if the cable screws up or something. Which I guess is nice, but I don't personally... I lost complete train of thought. My apologies. Oh, I don't personally like it. I don't like the cable being inside. It's not something, you know, I built the, God, what was it, the J80, and I was never a huge fan of that because while the build was solid and the board, I mean, it had red ink, so I wasn't like super thrilled with the build, but it was one of those it was just one of those things I'm like, this just doesn't do anything for me. Epsilon, thank you for stopping by. Always a good chat with you. Keeb Noob, I don't, you said bye, so I'm just acknowledging that I see you said bye. Zap, how's it going, man? And Chicken Noodle 66600, what's up? All right, let's get this thing tested. And my apologies that the window sound is coming through and making you guys think that something disconnected. Oh, what's that cool white cable, you ask? It's from Zap Cables. Go check it out. Boy howdy, Chicken Noodle. Thanks for the follow. You like how that totally came up naturally, Zap? TKC is ready. All right. Aren't all of these colored after a car? Wouldn't know. I missed an entire row right here. That's funny. All right, well, that's why we don't turn off the solder. Did I miss another entire row? Man, I missed so much. Holy shit. Now I'm concerned. I didn't know if I missed an entire row. That's actually worrisome of a PCB flaw, because yeah, it's soldered. Because that means that there's a trace somewhere that's having an issue. Yeah, that's all the way across. I done goofed. Just gotta find the trace. It's that simple, right? Maybe some traces by stabs. That would make sense. Let's see. I'm wondering if that is it. I'm wondering if it is this screw. Let's test it. Yep. It's this stab. So, good call. Duty decline. I guess I should probably go ahead and, like, you know, test the rest of the switches. So, here's a little learning experience for everyone. So this stab, this is where, so the screw's right here. The other screw goes right here, which is touching right here, causing a short. It's touching this pad. So I'm going to get, I've got some felt washers. I'm going to go snag real quick. Isn't that a bad design? I would say correct, but this is also an older PCB, so I'm not going to hold it against them too much. But I mean, I agree. Yeah, it's bad design in the fact that it would screw it up. But give me, actually, thought I had one close by. I'll be right back, guys. Not letting me be right back. That's weird. I guess this isn't working, but, you know, I'm just going to walk into this door right here. My bad. Should be updated. I would agree. 100%. Took me a second to find the washers. So you can actually find these on Amazon. They're like, Novelty sent these to me. I don't remember when I got them, but they just take it, put the little, these things are good to have regardless. Sometimes with a thinner PCB, you just might want the stab a little more taut. So we're going to screw this in. Well, I don't have EK up. Yep, so it works. Yep, there it is. Easy fix. So let's put this bad boy together. So I am going to, because I don't know why my scene switcher is not working. I am going to put, we'll get this put up. So this is what I do. I usually turn on the Be Right Back screen, but for right now I can't. And I don't even think I need this right now, because if I remember correctly, I didn't see any screws in the board. So, and then I do have to get the cable put in before I clamp everything shut. This song is incredibly depressing. Like 5 notes in, I'm like, man, I'm already extremely depressed. We haven't done the floral mat in a while. We have not done the floral, and the floral looks really good in natural light. And it looks good with the kind of, I say this is wood, it's absolutely not wood, it's fake wood, but no case screws at all. So here's the top piece. But if I remember, I mean, I kind of looked at it, there's a couple notches here at the bottom, and you literally just kind of hook those in, set it in. Let's not forget the cable. So we've got this tan, honestly, throwing shade, kind of meh cable. I'm sure it works really, although I did not do this, but there's a giant cut on this. I don't know if it was intentional for the build or not, but. And then there's this little like routing hole right here that you guys can see. And what you do is you just lay that cable, you lay some cable right in there, and literally it clamps shut. Just make sure it's on correctly. And that might be the fastest I've ever put a case together. Nope, it's not all the way together yet though. Because it is uneven. Spoke too soon. Don't make fun of my $1 USB cable. I'm gonna make fun, man. Is it best to go straight down or at an angle? You have to hook the bottom first. Got it. Thank you. That, in fact, did it. Cool. I do love that it's got feet. It's got that old school feet, so it's like super angled. I love that. What do we say? I got two options. I got peaches and cream and nines. I'm thinking nines would probably look better on this. What do you guys think? First person to say it. Peaches and creams or nines? First person. Nines. Boom. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Irony. I grabbed the first board. I grabbed the first. I grabbed N and 9. The first two. Like I mean, you guys saw me dump it out of a bag. I can't make that shit up. All right. Is this the right one? Oh, I see him. My dog is being extra cute, sitting under my desk, or I guess to the left of my desk. That, don't need that. GHJKL. What kind of dog? It is a half Chihuahua, half Pug. All lovey. All love indeed. What's nice about nines is, or what's nice about an 1800 layout is you basically use every single keycap, so just whatever you grab, there's a high probability that it is going to be used in the build. Doggos are the best. I can get behind that. And not even I can get behind that. I 110% agree with that. I know I've got scroll on there. Man, the one thing that's going to be annoying is all up here is just like craziness. We need some keycap sets with dog paws instead of all these cat pats. Absolutely. I agree. 1 bajillion%. Literally. Delcan 68686. Thank you for the follow. Looking something up real quick because I'll be honest, I don't remember the numpad. I forget where the minus goes. Cats are better than dogs, but I have nothing against dogs. Ooh. I'm gonna just collect as much dog hair as I have and just dump it in the bottom tray of this board. And it's gonna be a lot because my boy Howie sheds like crazy. We are wrapping up, but I want to take this time. So you can go to switchmod.net/mexondeck for 4% off your order. He does lube drops at night, usually at midnight. So make sure you try not to miss those. If you are in need of lube, as well as keep an eye out for the next group buy that he runs, because he does typically run them a little more spread out as to not overwhelm himself with what he is running. But 4% off will get you on anything in stock. That I think it does exclude keycaps, but outside of that, switches, springs, all that good stuff. Next up, you can go to dixiemech.com/mexondeck or mexondeck.dixiemech.com, I believe is the actual link. And hit up GMK Redline, as well as desk mats are in stock, and the new keycap totes are back in stock soon. So be sure, here, I'm looking a little dark because the sun is just leaving. That didn't screw up. Okay, there we go. GMK Redline running this month, so be sure to grab that. What switches? These are T1 switches. You can go to candykeys.com to go find pick up GMK Red Dragon. candykeys.com/mexondeck to pick up GMK Red Dragon, as well as they've got other PCBs and other things like that. And last but not least, Project Keyboards. You can go to mexondeck.project.link, and that will let you find GMK Noir being run by the amazing Miss Mentorly, or sorry, designed by the amazing Miss Mentorly, as well as Neflock. So be sure to pick that up. We also would not be able to do this without our awesome sponsors. Zap Cables. The cable right here that you see is by Zap Cables. He makes amazing cables. Type Beast. You can go to typebea.st to find an amazing newsletter and a great commentary of things going on in the community. And Smith and Rune. You can go to smithrune.com to pick up some awesome apparel. He's got great like sweatpants and shirts and all that. So pick up some great apparel, as well as keep an eye out for the Iron 180, which is going to be one of the more popular drops this year. Getting close to wrapping this up. I do like this real dark, like gray on blue vibe going with this board. Nope, that's in the wrong spot. What is everybody else plan this evening? Also, who else is streaming? Because we're getting close to raid time for some Raidsy Bears. Who else is streaming? Are you watching someone else? What is the happen? That's the only bad part about streaming, is you don't get to see what other people are doing. Unless I awkwardly, like I could stream me streaming someone else. So. Chew, I'm sure you get asked this all the time. What is your preferred switch type? Linear, tactile, or the one that shall not be named? I love tactile switches. I do like linears, but I definitely like tactiles a lot more. I have nothing against linears, and I don't even have anything against clickies. I enjoy them. They're just loud. But I definitely prefer tactiles over linears. Wrong. Is this? That's a different key. Noted. Merlin, Mentorly, and Mr. Keeves are on right now. Hell yeah. Well, I know exactly who we're gonna raid, because they might be the only person that can fulfill this dream for me at this exact moment. 6 as we finish this up, do a quick typing test, and then throw it over to someone else for the continued keyboard experience on Saturdays. Hope you have. Did I literally missed. Man, I haven't done that in a hot minute. Well, I messed up the numbers. Your boy can't count. What I do think would be cool on a board like this is being able to you know, you're able to get like a custom cable from Zap Cables and just throw it in, so you can kind of really go with the theme and then make it look like your custom cable is meant to be there. So I do like that about the kind of pseudo built, you know, proprietary cable. Appreciate that. What we got left? Where's my Z? Where's my Z? My down arrow. That fell. That's fun. I think this is Z. Nope, that's 3. Still need it. There it is. I love my dog, but he is sitting so close to me that if I like make any like sudden movement, I'm afraid he's just gonna like get up and slam his head into my desk. All right, so we gotta find. So inserts up here. Where's my homie key? Where are my homies at? Escape. All right, end is down here. Home. Scroll. Where's page up? Page up. Nope. Print screen. Eric's favorite key. Delete, and we just need page down, and it is complete. Let me adjust. It's gonna look a little grainier, but I'm just upping the ISO on this so you can kind of see. Very reflective. Looks fantastic. I really like the kind of. I don't know what board this was. I don't know what this was priced at. Nowadays, I think this board priced at something competitively. You know, if it's just the PCB, I can't imagine the case is super expensive. And if you get yourself, you know, if it's a carbon fiber plate, or you know, you can do like a FR4 plate for something inexpensive. If this board was like $100 to $150, I would tell everyone to get this board. As long as you fix that little PCB issue with the enter. It's super light. It's less than a pound fully built. Literally, like, the only thing, you're going to have to clean the smudges up, but I can do that. I'm going to do that before I send it off. But let's do a quick typing test, and then we'll move on. Unpainted kit was $159. I think that's a little high right now. I think that's a little high, but if they're going to offer like a Rev 2 of this, with an FR4 plate, PCB and case and all of that, just that, I think if you can get it to 150, like, I would tell people to go get it. I think this would be a steal of a board at 150, because this, you know, you still have to provide switches and caps, but at 250 for an 1800 layout board, which it would get a couple people would have to get used to this being different, but this is something I could go up to one of my coworkers and be like, hey, look at this board. Like, you've got your numpad, you've got all the keys that you need. Like, you can use this. So we're going to do the typing test. I'm going to use the rubber feet because why not? Do they make that with 7U? You can put 7U. I don't remember. I'm sure you can put split backspace. So perfect. Yeah, perfect board for the mom. Exactly. So like I said, it's T1s and a carbon fiber plate in a plastic, I'm going to call it the clamshell case. I like that. So excuse my, and I've got 2 desk mats on a IKEA top. It's not wood. It's not, I mean, I think it's laminate. But yeah, 2 desk mats, just so you guys know the true resonance of it, an RE20. So this is a dynamic microphone, so it's not going to sound 100%, but it's going to sound like it's going to sound. So here we go with the sound test. All right, so it's all right. I'm not going to say it's the greatest sounding board because it's got that plasticky feel to it, but it sounds good. I mean, compared to the mushy soundingness of a rubber dome board, I think this sounds better than that. Definitely, I like it. It has the feeling of like a more, not vintage, but like a 90s keyboard. It's got that. So this is the one thing I did notice is some of these switches, these aren't, you know, cracked by any means, but so the T1s have some issues with that. So I did notice that. I don't know if the switches are just not to spec. I guess it's better than them not. It's better than them not, or them cracking caps, but the stems are pretty darn small. But literally, like, you know, there's the C. And it's not, the switch isn't like busting open. So, never had that issue. I mean, I don't know, 9s could have been stretched, but I don't, you know, that's not something that typing on it, I didn't feel like. I just noticed it when I was putting the switches on. I think if you get them on, once they kind of stay on, you're not gonna, unless you're slapping your keyboard. But that's the only thing I noticed with these T1 switches. But yeah, I mean, unless you're sitting there going, oh, I need to drag this, I think the P right here is the only one you're gonna have to worry about with typing. But I don't have any spares. So, but anyway, this is TKC. I'm going to give, if I had a rating system, which I don't, I would give this a solid 7. Maybe a 6.5 because of the PCB issue, which was fixable, but like, come on, people. So solid board. The plate design was amazing. And let's find someone to raid. So next week, don't have the guest figured out exactly, but we'll get that announced tomorrow. And then Clack Fancy is on the 24th, so a week from today, Clack Fancy. Be sure to come check that out. And then we're going to be talking usual usual Tuesday, Wednesday stream with Osiris. He'll be back. So thank you guys why is this not working? I just don't know. I guess this got unplugged at some point. Oh, I bet I know exactly what happened. That's actually hilarious. I hit the my scene selector is based off of my numlock. But I hit numlock on this keyboard and then unplugged it. So actually I can. So hold on real quick. There it is. Yep. That's hilarious. So on my stream on my deck, I use it. The macros are the number pad because I don't have a number pad keyboard. So I use the number pad keys. And when I hit numlock, it turned it off on my Bento Nano. That's hilarious. But yeah, guys. So Osiris will be joining us, of course. We'll be back in the driving seat, the co-pilot seat. So be sure to check us out Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Time next week. Clack Fancy. More info on that on Tuesday. We'll go over everything Clack Fancy, and it is time to raid. We are going to raid Mr. Keebs. Someone said Mr. Keebs was on, right? I unplugged this keyboard. I need to bring this back. All right, so we're gonna say Carbon and Cafe is GMK PSL. So please, we're gonna hit Mr. Keeb, hit him that message, and thank you guys very much for coming and watching the stream. I appreciate it. And here we go with Mr. Keebs. Took some amazing pictures of Cafe, and that's what made me think of it. So thank you guys. We'll see you guys Tuesday, and bye, Switch Tester.